I felt like I should do something a bit big. I've never done anything in Lagos, and so I decided to challenge myself a bit and see how big we can go in such little time. We planned this in 5 days, yes, and amazing support from all. You can see all our partners, the men folk. It's been incredible. Thank you so much. The Conversations Live with Latasha is set to be a platform where meaningful discussions can happen that can impact change. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Women's Day to me, I think it means women collaborating and basically supporting each other. For Women's Day, I think Women's Day, IWD this year is give to gain. And when you think about it, you can't really gain if you don't give. So that means that you support each other. There's a lot of mentoring and, just helping each other and bringing the best out of each other. And one of the women that I would say has done great for me is my mom. My mom is an icon. She had such a large heart and she always extended help to everyone that she could. Thank you.
This month in particular is very special because it's also my mother's birthday. She's my queen, she's my world, and it's an opportunity to show her love, more love, even though I show her love every day, but it shows more how important she is to us and how we should share love among ourselves. So it means love and celebration of beauty for me. Thank you.
So what Women's Day means to me, I think it's just every woman standing up for each other and really supporting each other. The world is hard enough as it is, so by working together and elevating each one of us, we'll just really make the world a better place. I also think about mothers as well. Mothers are the OGs. They're not celebrated enough. It was just Mother's Day on Sunday, so I would also like to highlight that one as well.
Hi, my name is Davina Samson Akburu, and I'm here at Live with Latasha. And I feel like Women's Day should be Women's Month, which we're already doing. And we all know that Women's Month is in March. But all I can say is big love to Latasha for what she's doing, creating a space for women. It's never easy, but it's doable, and because she's doing that right now. So, yeah, catch us next year, this time in March, Live with Latasha. Bye.
For me, every woman should be celebrated every day, but it's good that there's a month set aside to celebrate and appreciate the woman, the woman, and we appreciate that. However, it goes beyond just having a month or a day in a year to celebrate her. Women are very industrious. Women are blessed. Like they say, you train a woman and you train a nation.
Okay, so I believe women are really doing excellently well in the society, in the community, in the homes, all over. I believe that the importance of a woman is actually very strong. In the society, I watched a program yesterday with Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, and I cannot but say I am super proud of how far women have gone.
Thank you very much for all you do. Thank you for, we're all humans are here today because of women, and for all the great work that they continue to do and contribute to humanity, to society, even those that are not acknowledged enough. And I think the celebration is always worth it, and we hope that in the many more years to come, we're talking more about not necessarily giving women a chance, but the fact that we're all having a seat at the table.
Well, one thing from working on this project that I've learned is that whether it's a nation or a woman, perception is extremely important. The other thing I've learned is that you have to write that story yourself. And the minute that women and nations start to write their own story differently, then everything else follows. The world follows, but you have to take that step first and redefine who you are and then write the story yourself, whether it be a nation or a woman. Well, women need to own their own destiny. Opportunities don't necessarily come to women in the same way that they come to men. But the first step towards breaking that self-confidence gap is in knowing the fact that self-confidence is just a feeling. Results are true. They are the evidence. So trust the evidence and not the feeling.
For every man you see in this room, they are supporting women in one capacity or the other. So please celebrate them. Ebuka, don't hide. Show your rapper very, very proudly. I wonder why they didn't give you rapper as you were coming in. Because there are men that really, they do support the cause of women, and we really need to celebrate such men. So tonight, we have a special woman who is our convener. And you know, anybody that knows Lat knows that she's all about the fashion. So before she comes, you know, it's going to be in a flurry of beautiful outfits. You know, she just likes to take up all the air in the room when she comes. And why not? We deserve every bit of it. So she's still getting ready to come. And that shows you how much of superwomen we truly are. The amount of multitasking women can do, it astonishes even me. You know, every time I think of the boardroom, I know many women who have, in fact, they plowed through the boardroom. With pregnancy, as a nursing mother, as moms to, you know, toddlers. Do you know how tasking it is when you have toddlers? And yet, when we take a break to have children, and we come back into the workspace, and we tell them we have not worked for the past 3 years, and they ask us what we've been doing, we said, I've been nurturing my children. I wonder why they don't consider it as something like, that is management, top level management form. I keep asking that, can a man truly do half of the things that we have done? I remember how many times I've held the mic in the early years. I was lactating, I was on the mic like this, emceeing for a school, and my whole outfit was purple, and it soaked through. You can imagine on stage, you just see one tiny dot, and before you are able to say anything, my whole shirt was soiled.
I just first of all want to welcome everyone here. I'm so happy. I'm overwhelmed actually. I can't believe this. This event was put together in 5 days. Please, I need you to count that on your fingers. Everything you see here happened in 5 days. It's nothing short of a miracle. And there's just so many people I want to thank, but we will get there. For generations, Nigerian women have fought battles that history sometimes whispers about, but never fully captures. Our grandmothers fought for dignity and power in a time when women were expected to remain silent. Women like Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, who stood up to colonial authority and mobilized thousands of women in Abeokuta. Women like Margaret Ekpo and Gambo Sawaba, who challenged political systems that tried to keep women out of leadership. They fought so hard that Nigerian women could have a voice in shaping this nation. And then came our mother's generation. Women who walked into spaces that had never truly opened for them. Women like Dora Akuyele, of blessed memory, who stood courageously against corruption and saved countless lives. Women like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who have proven that Nigerian women belong at the highest tables of global leadership. Women like Lulu, women like Lolo, women like Medlin, women like Susan, women like Wana, and Donna, and Ife, and Mommy Folusho, and Dr. Wilcox, and Barbara, and Buki, my trainer, who's still trying to get me to work out. Good luck with that. women like Daring, women like Bemi, women like Mimi, Lolu, women in this room and across the state and across the country, women like Chioma, women like Tenny, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters. We continue to expand these possibilities. And now, this generation of Nigerian women stand on the shoulders of the women that have gone before us, across tribe and across religion. Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Ijaw, Tiv, Muslim and Christian. Women are still pushing boundaries. A rousing round of applause, ladies. Please. As I welcome Freeborn, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Put your hands together for Natasha one more time.
Is Vivian Geology, and greatly inspired by Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and Moa Kudus.
Beautiful women in two different sectors. Can I ask why, politely? Even if it's one sentence each.
They've put Nigeria on a nice pedestal internationally, finance and entertainment.
Put your hands together for this gorgeous woman. Yes, I like that. She mentioned two different women and they've inspired her in two different ways. She found a way to connect them both because they have put us on the map, truly. Yes, it's about the hair tonight. Can we meet you and tell me one woman who has greatly inspired you?
Hello everyone, my name is Daring. And, oh God, I have time to think. I think I've been greatly influenced by Okema Dorothy and Beyonce.
Okay, I don't know. Can you tell us why?
Okay, Okema Dorothy owns Zaron, and I just really love our business sense and how she has been able to manage business and manage her private life. I mean, I just love a lot of things about her. And Beyonce, of course, growth, fame, discipline, hard work, beauty, family. She just knows how to balance everything, and I really love her.
Ebuka, someone once told me that a true he for she, it starts from childhood. I know you have older sisters. Do you think that having older sisters has shaped how you interact with women and how you see them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, do you think it's formed part of that?
I think, yes. I have an older sister, so I'm the third of 4 children, an older sister, the rest of us are boys, but she's the oldest. And I think in having parents, I don't think my parents are even boomers. My dad is 80-something, so that generation really understood things a certain way. But I also had a mother who, I guess education helped. For whatever era she grew up in, she understood the need to raise her children regardless of what genders they were. So I had a mom who went to work as much as my dad did. In a time, I'm talking in the 60s and the 70s, when it was quite weird for a lot of people, especially from the part of the country where I am. I don't like to sectionalize a lot, but we know that's one of the most patriarchal spaces in Nigeria, in the East. And when I would go to the village for like Christmas or Easter, and I would, they would say, I'm walking in there, and I'll put on wine, these are things that men should do. And so outside of my house was where I started seeing that there were lines being drawn and there were sort of differences. I think culture even played more of a role in making me see those things, because in my home it didn't really exist as much. So yeah, you're right in saying that surrounding myself as well as a child growing up with women who were strong, women who didn't. And my father, I guess I'll give him some credit as well, because he wasn't ever threatened by
some credit.
Yes, some. Because he wasn't necessarily, there were men at the time who were threatened by women working. And he, not only was he not threatened, he pushed for it. And so, yes, to answer your question, yes, growing up around women definitely shaped me strongly.
How do you think that men can use their voices today? Let's give an example. In the industry that we're in, the entertainment industry.
On one single person or any single group of people, because there's a lot that's been said. Whether we're talking about the music industry, for example, the kind of lyrics that are propagated, the way videos are shot, and those things get ingrained over time.
Does that bother you, by the way?
Yes. I think it should bother everybody.
As a girl,
but at the same time, that's where this talk about, So, when we talk about allyship, right, and what women, how men should let women be, I've also had this conversation with women, and they're saying, but these women have agency. And a lot of these people are not necessarily, that's a job, right? Whether you're a video vixen, that's what it is, that's what you're called. So if people want to have free will to do these things, I never really want to speak on it, if you know what I mean. So that's by the way. Speaking specifically in the space I work in, I think the one thing I noticed, and I think it's still a big thing, if you people in media here, I can see Wana, Dennis here, Chigo, these are people who I've worked with a few of them. And I think, first of all, if you're called to host an event and you have a co-host, for some reason automatically the man is the host and the woman is the co-host automatically. And most brands it's just the way it is, and they say, oh, your co-host is. And then whenever there's a situation, they defer to you first before, and then you now sort of put the lady in line with what the hosting situation is. Also, most times when it's one host, it's out of 10 times a man. On the occasion where it's a woman hosting alone, it's probably a woman's event. Or Wimbies, things like that. So I know that I've been in many situations where people have come to me and said something, I'm like, boss, have you briefed her? Things like that. And it's in those little things, you find that it's something so small, but it actually makes some people uncomfortable because they're wondering, why should I, But the more you do that, the more people realize it's a partnership. It's not one person different to the other. It's a very long battle, honestly, and I think a lot of it is cultural. We can talk as much as we want about how we need to speak to people and train people. But like I said, culture plays a huge part in all of this. Like I said earlier, a lot of what I saw were even outside of my home. And these things still exist today, where culturally, systemically, this is what people think it is. But I think entertainment is starting being whatever. I think music is probably at the back of all of this. The music people, when you talked about you can't have more than one or two, it seems to be that one place where once there's one hot chick, it's almost like it's enough. You know, if you're counting a big three or a big five, by the time you put one woman, it's like, okay, well, the other four have to be, you know. So
a short skit that I saw a few days ago with a young lady approaching a young man. I guess that's her boyfriend. And she was leaving with her suitcase, and her boyfriend was like, "Where are you going?" And she goes, "I'm leaving because it's like you're broke. You know, it's like you can't even buy me lunch. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't even afford to buy me a car. You cannot XYZ. You know, like being spoiled, right? Usually you see girls do that to their fathers, right? Like, daddy, I want a car. Daddy this, daddy that, daddy something, something. I know I was spoiled, but I didn't ask for a car, you know. But these days, young ladies tend to look up to young men, you know, and feel like they have to look up to either a young man or a richer man in order to survive. You were a father of girls, right? What, I don't want to say, is it that the young Gen Zs, let me use that word, you know, for the sake of it, are not being raised properly. I can't say that because I know a lot of millennials are raising their kids properly. But these girls are actually doing this these days, and I've seen it a lot, even though it's a skit, right? You're a father of girls. What do you think is being done wrong, or what's wrong, or what's being done wrong, or how can this be corrected? Because actually, it's starting to become a trend, you know. And we're the same women here saying that we finally can stand. We finally can show that women is what we are supposed to be, respected, right? But this young lady's coming behind us, who we are setting legacies for, seeing it differently, like a man is supposed to do something for me, you know. So what do you say to this? Thank you.
like you said, a lot of us are learning. I don't know if you're a parent, but most parents are learning, okay. A lot of us learn as we go along, right? We're not necessarily sure what we're doing. And I know people say that a lot, but it's actually true. Because when you become a parent, you now realize you're actually trying to just figure this thing out as you go. A lot of us try to unlearn from what our parents did. I think what is happening, and I don't want to put it down to Gen Z, I want to put it down to what the world is now. Not even women, what the world is now. A lot of what happened in the last, I want to say, decade and a half is what the internet has brought. I think parents have done a lot of what they could do at the time. The internet became a good parent for a lot of people without us being prepared for it. I think a lot of us who became parents in the last maybe 10, 5, 6 years are a little more prepared because we have seen it and are now starting to put what blocks we can. For a lot of parents of Gen Zs or the generation, and it's male and female because the men also have their many issues, I think a lot of them, in those very formative years of adolescence, the internet, social media took over people's lives. A lot of parents didn't know how to deal with that. And I think that shaped a lot of the thinking, is what I believe is happening. As parents now, so I think it's on us now to learn new skills that our parents didn't have. You are parenting, you are tech savvy, you are twice as intentional as your parents were. Back in the day, your parents would lock in the house and leave, and they know you're fine. But now, locking the child in the house is like, yay, because now they have time to, do whatever it is. So I think technology has become a co-parent, and we just need to be more intentional about it. To the extent that it has is that I listen. And I think it's one message I'll probably give men. And listen is not just... Listen more. Listen, yeah. Sometimes you're hearing, but are you listening? I think for a lot of men, and we know it, it's sometimes an ego thing, sometimes it's talk, make it go. You know, whatever the situation is, but most times when you actually listen, it might take some time, but you actually kind of understand these issues a little better, whether it's women's issues, whether it's your partner, whether it's your wife. When I got married, you know me to a small extent. I'm a loner, I'm not a people person per se. So marriage for me was like, what the hell are you doing? You're inviting someone into this your space. And it took a while, but I think that's my best friend without, even thinking about it. But it's because I got to understand her by listening and understanding, what's good, what works, what does she like, what doesn't she like, what kind of conversations are healthy for us. So that's basically, a lot of men, if we listen more, that's right. A lot of boys are being raised by podcasts now, and the podcasters, whether it's in Nigeria, whether it's in America, the manosphere is very, very strong. And before we get to toxic, it's the hold it has on people. And it's starting as early as 11 years old for a lot of these boys. I have a podcast called Mentality. It's
Round of applause for
men as well.
Podcast. Actually.
Now it's for men as well. It's supposed to be the anti-manosphere sort of podcast where men also watch these things, but you're seeing masculinity from a different perspective that I believe is healthier. So while I'm plugging that, I'm also telling you to be watchful, because when we go on, some of us here on Twitter, we say, Twitter is so toxic and everything degenerates to male versus female. Why? Because there's a mentorship system now that is a pipeline from these podcasters that has become the norm. Bring them to mentality.
You know what? I should actually ask you, Luca. One of your topics, now that we're on that subject, I didn't want to go there. No, but you opened the door. One of your very popular topics on that podcast was on money and on earning, man versus woman. And so let me cut to the chase. Could you be the partner who earns less?
Easy.
You want to be a baby boy?
I see.
For life.
For life is actually what I want to say.
You know I know your dreams. You know I know how you want. You just want to chill.
Everybody knows my real crush in this life is Melinda Gates.
I know.
I don't know if she's still single, but she probably was at some point. And I think it's what my podcast is about. Yes, I think every man should strive to be successful. And if you're a provider in your home, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't think being threatened by your wife earning you, because like I said at the start of this, culture plays a huge role here, let's be honest. And culturally we've been told things for decades. Now your work with this. Even you here, let's be honest, if your husband comes over one day and tells you, said you look at this man and wow, it's just a fact. But for me, I cannot be threatened by that. They're heartbreaking one. Is it not inside the house we're still going to drop it? And thankfully, I think I'm married, don't surprise me, but I think I'm married to a woman who is okay if she out-earns me and doesn't feel like I'm suddenly a weak man because of that. So it's not a problem at all.
Ladies and ladies, a huge round of applause for thank you so much. Thank you so much. Another round of applause. Thank you very much, Natasha, for helping us moderate this session.
Natasha Philippe is good. If you're afraid, just leave me, right? Yeah. But we don't like that.
One of the women whose own is too much.
Good evening, everyone. Energy. They get the small chops now. How about? Good evening, ladies. Thank you. My name is Juana. I'm honored to be here and to be sharing poems with you. A lot of my work is always very. I write. My work is about violence a lot of the time. The lives and bodies of women. I say it's about the physical and psychic violence that's enacted on the bodies of women. But you know what? Today I want us to experience joy, because joy is also resistance as well. So my first poem is titled "A Toast to the Women." So this one is dedicated to every woman. And you can all can hear me at the back, right? Yes. So here is a toast to the women who sat us around the moon and gave us the secrets to the galaxy, who chanted poems to squeeze rain out of the clouds, invented coding from divination, distorted the lines between juju and technology, cooked black magic in cauldrons, and spawned brown girls who could fly. Created calligraphy with cassava paste. Dyed in indigo and sculpted into crowns, they held parliaments in village squares. These women, whose mother tongue was movement, unstoppable, unquestionable, unquenchable. They're reminders that our names are a complete algorithm. Inside the location tag and birth certificate, we retrace ancestry in our names, reclaim homeland in our names, reverse fortune in our names, rewrite the dead in our names. Naming is how we plant ourselves into the earth. So here is a toast to the women who taught us that we come from a lineage of self-organizing. Taught us to bare our chests in protest, refuse the shards of heartbreak. Women who taught us to stay soft in a concrete world that tries to grind you to dust. So here is a toast to the women who make home for joy and pleasure inside the stretched skin of their bellies. The ones who don't die in the hourglass. The ones who make the history books. The ones who don't make the history books. So here is a toast to the women. Ancestors, elders, mothers, here is a toast to you.
Very, very powerful women. The first one being Kike Lomo. Please, can I have a round of applause for her? The journalist, absolutely. She doesn't stand necessarily here. A journalist, a media consultant, a wife, a mother, an all-round professional, and my dear friend. And I would also like to invite a lady without whom I'm not sure that I could have pulled off this event today. I called her to say hello to her as I do from time to time. And I just said, sis, she said, what's wrong? I said, my voice will get more slow. She said, what's going on? I said, I have this event I'm trying to put together. Women like that in this space. We need women like that in our lives. So when people say women don't support women, I fight. I'm sure some of you have seen me on Instablog being carried. There's a reason why I'm passionate. Because I know that I'm surrounded by a powerful tribe of women who will move the ends of the earth to get stuff done. So please help me do a warm applause for my big sister, Funke Bokno. You are now Kike Lomo Atonda Owo Abati. So she is the wife of Dr. Ruben Abati from the breakfast show on Arise TV. A round of applause for her. You know, across the world, women are earning more degrees, they're starting businesses, they're entering leadership spaces, but many still face an invisible money ceiling. Can you relate? Yeah. Can anybody here relate with that? No? Yeah? No? Okay, that's fine. It shows up in the gender pay gap, limited access to capital, fewer women in top financial decisions. Honestly speaking, all this kind of talk makes my eyes just like roll.
And you are lending your voice on issues that affect women all. I think on this note, she deserves a round of applause. And of course, to my co-panelists, you know, I think I need to use this medium to actually address some issues that transpired at my event last, you know, but what Natasha said about her is one of the things that I know quite a number of women have said about you. And for me, it has changed a lot of perspective on how I also view women. I'm not a believer of women supporting women, but when I hear stories like this, it resonates with me and saying to myself that we have to change that narrative. It starts with us. If I'm to answer your question directly,
it's about knowing your worth and your value. We enter a room, and first off, women are being judged by our gender, by how we look, and the value we are bringing to the table. And when we enter that room, starting from the theme this year, Give to Gain, I'm sorry, I have an issue with that thing. I believe that women have been giving all our lives. Since the day we've been vetted, we give while we're pregnant, we give during, nursing, with women understanding that you must have that negotiating power. Men go into the room to negotiate what they believe that I want this and this is my worth. Women enter the boardroom and they play themselves small. Again, my husband didn't meet me small. He met me in motion. He met me writing a book. He met me while I was even still in the courtroom trying to finalize my divorce. He met me while I actually founded a media platform today called Real Talk with Kike. He met me while I was running a training company with top organization. So he came in understanding that he's meeting a woman with purpose. The question is, are you a woman of vision and purpose? Are you a woman who understands that there's so much power in you that you can use to negotiate wherever you want to enter? I think many times women think that, I need to be giving this whatever because I'm a woman. But until we start changing that narrative to understand that the kind of title, the education that the male child got, if you have the opportunity that your parents sent you to get the same qualification, why not use it to get something good for yourself? Once that change, you need to understand that you must stand in gap for women for the change that we are all craving for to happen. Without that, I don't think that we actually get that change that we need. So if you are looking for you being a wife, being an entrepreneur, name it, you must make sure that you must challenge yourself, and it has to do with self-development. Self-development is about returning to school on learning and relearning. Understanding that the continuity starts with you so that your unborn generation can live a better life. Thank you.
My sis, she has said it over. Okay, your success. Because you are undisputedly successful at what you do, but I think also at life. I think you are a very dynamic person. And you're also at the same time, very content. But what has been the secret to your staying power and to the success that you have achieved today?
I did what I did. You have my heart. And you're my late sister's friend. So anyone that's my late sister's friend is my friend. So anything they need, I will do it. But honestly, you've just been amazing. So thank you for asking that question about what has made me, I would say, successful and still maybe relevant, dynamic, and all that. The truth is, for me, it's understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why am I doing it? What is the reason? Is it really about money, or is it about value, or creating value, or impact? And every single day of my life, I always giving your best all the time. You asked another question. You said that how have I been able to just stay relevant for those years and just be successful? Now, success means different things to different people. For some people, it's about money. For some people, it's about health. For some people, it's just about relationships. It's about family. So we all need to define what success is to you. And for me, success is a mix of all these things. I value them all. And every single day, I'm striving to just do better than I did yesterday. To give back, to see when you get to a certain area in life, you may think, I have arrived. But you must never think that, because you must always strive for more. And you must always think about how you can make
the next person better. And that has helped me. Self-development, you talked about it, self-development, ensuring that, just staying in that game. Just making sure that you are consistently just doing what you believe that you need to do, not what everybody else thinks it should be. Very, very important,
I want to ask something. It's easy for one person here, two people here, or women generally to feel, event planning, that space is saturated. Can I still come in? Can I still make a difference? Can I make a name? Can I make impact? Most importantly, can I make money? Do you think that there is still space in the event planning space for a young girl today to start and make something of herself?
People are evolving, people are growing, tastes are changing, there are different generations, so there will always be an answer to a generation. So anybody can come in, you come into a space, what you need to come in is to come in a different way. How are you different? What is your niche? What is that one thing that stands you out from the next person? Why should they choose you over somebody else? Have you been able to build your brand in such a way that someone can say, this is different? So it's very, very important to never think, I've been doing this for 24 years and I'm still getting new business. Do you understand? So imagine somebody else coming into the space. And I have a school, we train, I mentor, I guide, yes. So I'm putting people out there. And why do I put people out there? I feel like the more knowledge people have, the more you educate, the more you teach, the more you guide somebody to do things the right way, the more they'll do it better. So, but what is key is to understand that you are different, we're all uniquely different. And we're all going to serve different people, different markets, different clients. So it's to just understand that with that difference you have and the value you bring, you must always just make sure that excellence is key for you.
I don't know if I should say that is as women, but imagine this. You are who you are in this space, right? And somebody is trying to connect with you for the purpose of advancement. And I know we can all relate to this, ladies. Can you relate? Someone is drawing close for the reason of advancement, right? So a part of you feels, okay, I like this person, but if I show this person the way, what thing will happen? Like, let's be honest. I don't know about other people, but from time to time, we can feel maybe a little bit like anxious, scared, even a little bit jealous. Let's just a smidge, like, has that happened to you? Have you felt that feeling? Is this a natural feeling? Because you are at the top of your game. So I know that there'll be some sponsors that will be in your DM, oh my God, sis, all those talks, like, we're very respectful today. And I know there's another thing. Let me just finish this. All of us have seen Pepe some way, somehow, when we've opened that door. We've seen Pepe. How can one balance out? How can you be both an example, but at the same time, protect yourself?
Hey, war stories. You want to hear? The truth is, we're first of all human beings.
Yes.
And as a human being, you're going to have some certain, some kind of, I would say, reservations, emotions, in how you expose and open yourself up. But one thing I've learned, and this is what I've learned over the years, and has actually now helped me to understand that everybody's journey is very different, and everybody's path. When we've been put in positions most of the time to actually guide people. That's how I see it. To guide, to mentor, to correct, to show people the way. Because somebody else showed you the way. That's how I've always thought about it. Somebody else showed me the way in different ways. Let me tell you something. When I started event planning,
I joined a network. Somebody mentioned Wimbies here. The first person that introduced me to Wimbies was a fellow event person that said, okay, you need to be a part of this network. That was Mrs. Yewande Zacchaeus. We started at the same time, but she was like, when she was older and she was a part of this network of women, I said, forget, you need to be a part of it. But we are fellow, we are event planners together, competitors, right? But she introduced me and I never forgot that. And because of that, I've decided that
someone earlier that who is your mentor, or who, I don't know what the question is, and she said her mother. I didn't experience being nurtured by a mother, by a biological mother. I only understand mothering a child. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But when I look back today, subconsciously, my grandmother actually, influenced me. My grandmother was an entrepreneur. She was an illiterate, Alaja, but she had vex money. Vex money that can make her, I'm not telling you that you should leave your marriage, please, in context. Vex money that can make her earn some BS. Okay, bye, I'm gone. Because I have economic power to make that alternative. Many women are stuck in their career path. Many women are stuck in their journey of choices of the kind of partnership that they have today because they do not have that economic power.
But that vex money go. It doesn't fall from the sky.
Yeah, good.
And so how do we secure this bag?
So you asked earlier about careers having that bag in terms of what do you call it now? In careers and probably you've gone to school and all of that. I think it goes beyond just education. It's about having power of character. Many times, most of the women in this room today, we are all educated women. But you see, half of us, I'm sorry, I lack diplomacy. I just like to say that. That's why that was one better beauty of Okike. It doesn't affect his circle of friends. When a woman does the same thing, you are being judged first by your fellow woman. You are being judged from the office space. You are being judged from the place of, what is she looking for? You said earlier, am I too much? I have your type at home. Exactly, she's too aggressive. So I think it comes to us changing the environment, the mentality that Ebuka mentioned earlier. And it starts with all of us. I'm not going to say that the God factor doesn't play a major role in our lives, because however we look at it, we might be skillful, we might be talented, but that God factor also goes a long way. And the fact that we need each other, that collaboration, that network with the right people though, because sometimes you can be with the wrong people.
How are they rich with such shitty character?
Yeah, that's a very good question.
So what is it that they are doing that, what are they doing that in spite of, because you'll see a guy beats on his spouse, but is still in good standing with his community of saying, right? However, it doesn't stop his business, it doesn't influence anything, they just keep going. So I agree with you that character, I guess, because maybe we just always want to be better as people. We're more,
it's in our DNA.
I think so. But could it be that this quest for goodness and mercy is also blocking the finances?
We are going for that thing that God has placed in our life as the grace to continue her journey. So all the sponsors, all the people who have put crumbs on my table in my journey, my career journey today, it has been because you have good character. You will give some people jobs, Natasha. they will make you look as if it's their entitlement. There are thousands of Latasha out there who is very articulate, who has good career, the resume is, when you're reading it out, you will say, hey, can I beat this one like this? But the person might lack power of character. And I think that is one thing that we should take home today. Entrepreneurship, career, we must think long term. So it's easy to think about what you have at the moment and think, oh, this is it, and I'm just going to spend it all. You must think about the future. So early on, it was actually one of my clients who asked me one day and said, what are you doing with your money? And I was like, oh, I was not feeling good. Like, what's all this? Why are you asking me? He said, you need to begin to think, invest your money, Forex. Begin to think of investing your money in this way, buy property, do this. And I felt, and this was about maybe 19 years ago. And I thought to myself, okay, at that time I thought I didn't really have. I was like, where is the money that this guy is telling me to be doing all this? But because of that, I started consciously putting things away. So when we made money from the business, we didn't spend everything. So we would, of course, either reinvest it back in the business, we'll take a portion of it and go and, just. Because I learned the power of this during COVID. Because during COVID, we were able to pay salaries till COVID ended.
That's big.
I was even thinking, we thought we were going to let people off, but we didn't let anybody off. Everybody got paid, and that was just because we had the pause, there was continuity, we had invested, we had saved, we had kept money in this place, done that. So subconsciously, just because I knew that the future is just important to create wealth. And you can create wealth in different ways. But it's just important, of course, you must invest. So we can be making money now, we think, oh, we're making all the money now. But you must always set money aside, because you just never know. And it's not, they talk about rainy day, emergency, but you also need to think long term. Let me tell you, one of the reasons why I had to do what I had to do was, I'm going to be 50 in a few months. And I was thinking to myself, thank you. And then, of course, years ago, I was thinking to myself, okay, all this money, after a while, even physically, I can't do as much as I can. I'm doing 10 years ago, when I was 20, when I was 30. So, whatever for the business, how are you going to ensure that the business outlives you? So, of course, a few years ago, I started thinking about succession. So, you don't just eat your bread now. You don't eat all the money you have now. You don't spend, yes, I know it's good to, let's enjoy life. But also think about the future. And just make sure that you're investing. You are also asking for advice. Don't be scared to ask for advice. Don't be scared to get people. I'm a big learner. So I can ask, I'm sure they're not here, but I call anybody up and say, tell me, I saw you posted something, I saw you did this. Why did you do this? How can I invest in this? What should I do? And people say, oh, do this, do that, do that. And that's how I've been able to do much, for the business and myself.
Have you ever taken out a loan for your business?
No, wow. Never. Never. And let me just say why. So, because for everybody here, you may need to take a loan. It depends on what it is. We've been able to, there's a lot of bootstrapping, or maybe I'll say delayed gratification. So money comes, we put the money back. Money comes, we put the money back. Money comes, and then when money comes like that, sometimes I just go, boom, this money, go and put it in this investment, go and do this. 30 days you get it back. So we've never had, even when we needed to buy, all our items, everything, we've never had to borrow. We've actually never had to borrow.
I'm going to take a question for any of the ladies in conversation.
If, for example, by doing 10 free jobs, you're not going to make your goal. You better not do it. So you always have to think about how you can continue to make, maybe I would say more money or generate more income. And it could be in different ways. In your business, you must think of different ways of making money that is not just one stream. So some people think that in your business, for example,
when they say multiple streams of income, in one business, you can actually have multiple streams of income. And I think that's what we've been able to do in all the various businesses. I don't know if that has helped. So it's to have a goal, ensure that you don't go below that goal, and then even if when you are, you need to begin to think about how you can always meet up. And of course, also in business, you must always think about things like your customer acquisition, your customer retention, the market. How do you consistently serve the market that you can stay on that level of where you keep on charging the premium fee that you charge? So those are things that you need to look into. Thank you. So I would just say that, first of all, we need to stop comparing ourselves. Everybody, you don't know the background, you don't know what someone has done or someone is doing to get what you think they have. Not what they have, what you think. So it's very important to be content. Now, being content is not the same as not being ambitious. But it's just that you are content with what you have. And then you begin to work at your own pace or in your own lane. So it's important to stay in your lane. Do the one that you can do. Do the one that you can do. But do not stop striving for more.
Thank you. All right, many thanks for that. I think my last words right now is to charge you to understand that you are enough. We women must come to a place where we say we are enough. However, you must be exceptionally excellent at anything you do. What's your strength? Can you capitalize on your strength? Document your wins. Social media is a place where everybody brings their best foot forward. Nobody is documenting the negativity or the downside of their lives. Until you understand that, you will not understand the power of the talent that is in you. Thank you.
Yeah! Adebayo Femi did that. Her name is Femi Atilade. And she's a lawyer. She's based in the US. She also has a business, a new business called Crown Age. That's a service that enables you to be able to take your business, move it abroad if you want to, international services, but you will learn a bit more about that. So if you love your little gift right now, can I get a round of applause? That's what we're talking about.
Everybody should have a gift and a little chair.
Everybody should have a little something. I mean, it's not Oprah. You're not getting cars, but we're starting somewhere. How about that? Thank you.
So we're grateful. We're one of a kind, and there is nobody like us. You are your own superpower, and there is nobody like you. And with that being said, we're going to move on to our next panel, which is the confidence gap.
Can I? Sorry.
Let
me correct that. Okay. Can I just take it?
Yes, you can, honey.
God bless you.
Yes, you can.
I want to personally introduce this person. This is a serious one. Not like it's a serious, like, stuffy conversation.
Yeah.
This is a serious one to me.
It is. Okay. So let me introduce it.
God bless you.
So ladies and gentlemen, right now I need to put your hands together for our convener as she introduces the next speaker for the next panel. Put your hands together for Natasha, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
The lady I want to introduce next. Some of you who are clued in to what's really going on, gone, might know. Some of you, well, you have your pursuits, you like what you like, you're on TikTok every day, you're watching Dance Challenge, you want to know what's going on here and there. Well, to each their own. But I'm going to tell you, this person, this woman, is the managing director of the Nigerian Global Reputation Management Project. Let me take that again, or let me simplify it for you. Her job is, she has been appointed to promote, push, amplify Nigeria's image And you know, say Nigeria no small. Look at the finesse. Look at the sweetness of this lady. Is this not a true representative of Nigeria and Nigerians? God bless you. What's going on? What was that song?
5 days, putting this together in 5 days is no small feat. Please, everyone, let's recognize.
You are so kind. Are we ready for this conversation? Okay. I want to ask you something. How you're so super poised, elegant, put together. You exude this like quiet confidence to me, right? It's just like almost effortless. How are you able to do that? Because honestly speaking, I can't get downstairs to my house without, I have forgotten like 10 things. I'm screaming, I'm shouting, I'm just like, but you are so composed. How? What do you know that I don't know? Can you share?
Well, I don't know how many people here are religious, but knowing that God is on my side, I'm fine. I'm calm.
Okay. The job that you have is clearly one of, oh, by the way, I should also share a few more things with you on her career journey. Before this powerful position that she occupies now, she was the Vice President, Public Affairs, Communications and Sustainability, Africa at the Coca-Cola Company. Before that, she was the Chief Communications and Public Affairs Officer for GE Africa. Before GE, she was the Head, External Relations, Nigeria and Corporate Communications Leader, Sub-Saharan Africa at Procter & Gamble. She's also a non-executive director of the Water Trust, and she's on the Advisory Council of Impact Health. I know that you're passionate about empowering women, personal branding, and telling Africa's full story. But you're sat here because I want to ask you about questions on being a fuller, richer, and more confident woman while taking the reins of your destiny in your career and everywhere else in life. Why do women feel like we must be perfectly ready before pursuing opportunities, while men often head forward with less hesitation?
Right, that's a great question. And this talks about a confidence gap, which is, for those who are not familiar with the term, just the difference between a person's competence and their self-assuredness. And the person's self-assuredness. So it's, when a lot of people talk about this, they're saying it in relation to women. But for me, I think very differently. I see it as a conditioning problem, not a confidence problem. And with women, it's because we're generally conditioned to feel that we need to be ready. We need to prove ourselves. We need to, the one in the past decade, earn a seat on the table. Whereas men, they're rewarded for potential. People take bets, we'll take a bet on this person. They are encouraged to learn on the job in whatever it is that they're doing. But the truth is that the moment we start understanding that this is a conditioning issue, then we stop looking for validation from other people. And then we start rewriting the story and reclaiming the spaces that we have lost in the past. So it's not, women are competent. It's not about ability. Women are just as competent as men, and in some cases much more competent than men are. However, it's a difference between seeking validation, looking for permission, or giving yourself permission to be who you need to be.
But how can we learn to trust that competence, even when you don't feel completely confident? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, everyone thinks I'm a confident person. I am. But there have been times when I've had doubts, right? So how can we learn to actually trust that competence?
Well, first of all, and it happens to everyone at every level. Like Natasha just said, even she that everyone thinks is confident, sometimes, you know, she doubts herself. Self-doubt is normal. At every stage, we will doubt ourselves. It's the bigger role you play, the new self-doubt comes into play. But you need to take stock of your achievements. You need to write things down that you've achieved. Because the reality of your confidence and who you are very different things. Self-confidence is just a feeling, but competence is evidence. Trust the evidence, not the feeling, because those feelings will fail you. But the evidence of who you've been is what's going to keep you going. So you need to think through things in this way. Not, am I ready for this opportunity, but do I have the ability to figure this out? Because women tend to feel that they need to be 100% ready, have proven themselves.
Did you even feel sometimes when those appointments or positions, or maybe should I say, what's it called now, when you are promoted or something, did you look at it and feel like, wow, Patricia, I never thought I was going to get here, but here I am?
The first thing you start thinking, or at least I start thinking, is, what do I do next? What will the next 90 days look like? And then, of course, self-doubt starts creeping in. No matter how many times I've achieved stuff and how many places I've been, then the self-doubt starts creeping in. So it never really goes. You know, it stays with you. No matter how much you've achieved, it may still creep in. So it's not about how you grow. It's more about outgrowing that doubt in yourself and learning that you don't have to listen to it. You just need to move forward. Look at yourself from another perspective. And they'll guide you in areas that they have been and you haven't been. It's absolutely important. And community as well. So that community, the network you have, those are the people that become your cheerleaders because they've seen you go through several things and they've seen you come up top. One thing I know is that sometimes you need to borrow the confidence before you start to feel it. And that's what peers, mentors, and community will do for you.
Do you think dressing the part sometimes can help step into that feeling of power? You know, just showing up in a certain type of way. Do you think it can play a part? I mean, I know one shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but how important is your outward in these rooms and spaces, especially with regards to your own confidence level?
You don't go, personal hygiene, very important. You don't go into a room and expect to be respected if you are not paying attention to yourself. People think that that's how you pay attention to the work that's at hand, and unfortunately women are judged by appearance. I don't think it's important that you are the most stylish person in the room or that you're the most fashionable person in the room. It's important though that you present yourself in a clean, smart, decent way, an appropriate way for whatever it is that you're doing. Personally, I take it a step further. I'll tell you a story. I remember when I worked for Procter & Gamble, I went into this place and it was a very casual kind of workplace dressing. The dress code was very casual. So people came in casual every day. But when I joined that company, I felt that I needed to be at a position that was higher than where I was. And I did a lot of things. I did a lot of work. I showed my competence. But I tell you one thing I did. Every Monday to Wednesday, and I timed it, minimum Monday to Wednesday, I wore a suit to the office. Nobody else wore a suit to the office. I know I may have looked like a freak for some time, but I felt that I felt like an executive, and I wanted to be seen as an executive. And part of everything I did for my personal brand and showing my competence, I really believe my appearance mattered. So I did that, and I'm not saying anybody promoted me because I wore a suit, but it helped me with how I was showing up. It's not the same for everyone, but I feel a little I think you build respect for yourself.
So the takeaway is whatever you do, wear a suit. Monday to Wednesday, at the very least. I actually think that's brilliant. Seriously, there's something about shoulder pads and just that collar that is just like, you know what, if you're going to sell bonds, sell corporate bonds, you know?
You know, sometimes it's yourself you are convincing, it's not just the other people.
No, you are so right. It's like what it makes you, when you put on, it helps you really do put on when you're out there. So I think you're really onto something. What are some of the challenges that maybe wrestled with your confidence while you were in the house, and how were you able to overcome them?
Built differently, you know, and I felt like coming into the house and being around people that maybe mostly Lagosians than Port Harcourt people, there was a little bit of battle with trying to be me and trying to blend in, right? And the only thing I'm used to is being me. Like, I don't know how to be anyone else or try to blend in. I just try to be me. And so one of the challenges would have to be meeting with people with different personalities, and you guys have to be in the same space. We had over 26 housemates during my season, so you can imagine 26 personalities in one house. Obviously, there will be clashes and stuff.
I mean, 26 people is a lot of people in one house.
Yeah.
My God, I could not. However, we can't go through life also in contention, right? So what have you learned from that time till now that has allowed you maintain who you are, the essence of who you are, but still continue to be a confident young woman?
I would say believing in me. I don't know though, but when you're very courageous from the inside, when there's zeal and when there's passion, there's nothing you cannot do. So even when the odds are against you, the fact that you believe strongly in yourself, you just find out things are working out for you. It's crazy, but it really does work like that. I could remember, you know, being a teenager years ago, and I had like my mom's people, they try to call my dad to have a conversation with him. Show up yourself, nobody's judging you, you don't have to be in Lagos, you can be in any location, and people can watch what you put out and stuff. So there were times when, you know, my mom's people had issues with this, they called my dad, had a whole meeting. And my sister was there, so she was recording the conversation and sending it to me. And they were saying a lot of things, you know, she's meeting up a guy, she's doing this, she's doing, they were saying a lot of things. And when my dad came back, he was furious though, but you know, I'm a daddy's girl, so he tried to give me grace. And I just said to him, Daddy, you know the reason why they were able to sit you down and have this conversation with you? Because they do have more money. Daddy, I'm going to have money in this life.
I love that.
Yes. And I did say that to my dad, and you know, ever since I made that statement, I have just never let the fire and risk of burning. You know, I just keep going. Even when people don't like me, I'm like, okay, maybe they need to meet me, to experience me, to like know the kind of person that I am, you know? So I'm really just living life on my own terms. I'm being grateful every day that I'm able to wake up and, you know, net up with amazing, beautiful women like this. It's really just all God's grace.
A round of applause for her, please. Lady Pat, she just said, there's something she said, and I should ask you, do you sometimes find that in a bid to just do your thing and be in your lane, people can misconstrue it for, she's a snob. Who does she think she is? Have you gotten that, and how do you maybe overcome that?
Well, it is possible, and people will always have opinions.
So I would say family, and being a first child and a first daughter, you know, there's a lot of people you need to look after, and especially with losing my mom, you know, I've had to be that mother at a very young age. Like, I don't know how to be anything else other than, you know, being that mommy figure and stuff. So I would say not backing down with all of the negative comments I get because of my family. I know I'm not on this earth just for myself. Like, there are people that, you know, if I'm not here anymore, I don't know what is going to be of them, you know. And not even just from an angle of financially, like I play a huge role in my house, you know. I'm the reason why everybody's in order. I'm checking up on Kimso, my siblings, my dad, my stepmom, and then my businesses too. Because you know how it works in Lagos. It's not about you employing staffs. Do they know what to do? Do they even want to do what they know what to do? They need you to follow up with them on everything, you know? So, it really... Exactly. Like I'm on WhatsApp, on different WhatsApp, testing as different virtual assistants to follow up on these people, you know? I don't want them to say, you know, Tasha was testing me this morning. No. I want you to look like it's a different stuff. So I would say I have never felt the need to back down because of my family. So even when I see those negative comments, I just look at it like, wow, I have to be doing something right as to why I'm getting those negative comments. When I don't get negative comments, I'm bothered. I'm like, what's probably going on? Honestly, because you know, people hate what they like, but they're not just bold enough to make it obvious. Right? So when they come at me, I see it more of compliments than even hate. Because they really have pushed me to where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be where I'm at without my haters. So I honestly do love them. Really. So when I see those things, it really doesn't do nothing to me. Like I've received hate consecutively for 10 years. I've been on the space for at least 10 years. Since 200 level training for 10. So I know people have always had an issue with, you know, how she is. And you know, different stuff. People always like the people that don't like you, Latasha, for no reason. You know, I
how could they, for goodness sake, look at this? How? I'm sorry for them.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I would say not backing down has a lot to do with my family.
Thank you. Lady Pat, a final word for young ladies, because I noticed how when you held the mic, I didn't have to tell people, shh, you just commanded it. You just gave the aura. So give us small aura that we can just take away. Just shoot something else that we can use that one Obele for tomorrow.
Well, one thing, and thanks Natasha, one thing I've learned from managing Nigeria's global reputation, or at least setting up the management of Nigeria's global reputation, is that change only happens when you realize that you need to tell your own story and not look for external validation from other people. That's when things start to happen. So, not waiting to be given permission, but taking positions that are yours rightfully is what makes the difference. And when you do that, then the world starts to follow.
Wisdom. By the way, I should mention that Lady Pat is a twin. She has a twin sister that is equally as accomplished. There is something in the water in that Obozua family, I must tell you. Your brother too, I know, is also a tastemaker for the Glenlivet. He's a watch aficionado. You're just amazing stock. I'll be stalking you, don't worry. But I stock the best, right? Speaking of the best, we have some amazing food. There's Ghana jollof rice in the house. There's Colombian grills. I know that there's some catfish. There's grilled catfish. There's a lot of mede mede. There are a lot of Glenlivet drinks. Let your mouth water, because it's going to be wet. And by the way, I heard it's a public holiday tomorrow. So you can literally remove your hair off and let your hair down. We're good. There's nobody that's stressing you this evening. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for sitting on this stage with me and being in conversation. I appreciate you so much. Lady Pat, your support has been invaluable. You know this. I don't want to talk too much. So thank you. She's just smiling. Tell people, just composure. Check under your chair. There's a feel of composure from Lady Pat. Check, seriously. There's under the chair. Check. So you don't believe me? Then it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause. Big round of applause for my ladies. Can we get pictures? That's good. And she was told that there was just one bus. You get up every day at what time?
By 5 a.m. Sorry. Hello everybody. I'm so happy to be here right now. I'm so happy. So I wake up every day by 5 a.m.
To do what?
To go to work and return back by 9 p.m.
How long does it take you to get to work?
Normally it's supposed to be 2 hours, but because of...
I remember when I was in university, I would take bus because I wanted to save cab money. But I also remember the incident that made me realize this is not sustainable. So I'm going to tell this story. I got to the bus stop, so we lived in Surulere. I would take the bus from Alhaji Masha bus stop to Ojuelegba, and then from Ojuelegba to Yaba by the railway, and then from the railway to Unilag. And so one day I was at the Yaba leg of this journey, by the railway. I'm waiting for a bus. There was queue. It was just one of those hectic days. I was like, which kind of problem is this? Next thing I know, in this crowd, I just felt someone. You know, there's a way you're in a crowd and you know someone has intentionally touched you. So I turned to look. Ladies, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but I know you would also believe me. There was a man standing right behind me with his genitalia in his hand, out in his hand. This is not 7 p.m. This is like 9:30, 10 in the morning. It was in his hand, and he stood there, fully clothed, but it was just there. And I looked at him. Do you know the next thing I did? No. I held him by his shirt. Immediately. And I asked someone, is there anything on my back? Like, is there any sort of mess on me? And they were like, no. I told him, God save you today. You would have seen something. However, I want you to just know that I understand. Don't think many of us in this room don't understand what you have to do every day. And I applaud it because I believe it is necessary for the grit that builds and the energy and everything that is required to make you a wholesome person. I love that you are unafraid and unashamed of any kind of journey. But I would like to ask you, what made you that day return with your camera? Because we saw what had transpired, right? What made you come back to say, I'm going to document this?
Okay, so everything happened because, I started documenting every single day about my struggles, and then it became too much. So as I kept voicing out, then people kept hearing me. And then that post suddenly blew up and everybody saw it. Then the lady came to harass me. That is one of the staffs. And she told me not to make any video. And I said, why should I not make any video? And she started harassing me, trying to drag my phone. And I said, no, I stood my ground and I still made that video. And everybody saw it live. They saw everything that transpired between me and the lady. I still went to the queue. And other passengers, they didn't do anything. They were just looking, oh, who is this girl talking? But they did not do anything. So I still made that video and I posted it. Even after I posted the video, I still made another video. So she did not even stop me.
I love, please, a round of applause for her. Because the level of bravery and courageousness, I think, is what this panel is about, or rather this conversation, the power of her voice. And I don't know if a lot of women don't realize how powerful our voices truly are. Waje, you are a vocal powerhouse, pardon the pun, right? So, but you have a big voice, a big singing voice. But beyond your singing voice, you have constantly used your voice as a tool for advocacy, as a tool to signal change. You stood for women issues, children issues, girl rights issues. Why is it so important to you? Because you can just be a celebrity for the celebrityness of it, the free clothes, the trips and all of that. But why are you doing much more?
Good evening, everyone. You all look beautiful. And I want to say congratulations to Latasha, because when I walked into the hall, there was this energy, I just welcome girl, because this is expedient. This is what we need. Your question says why. This is why, really. It's okay to do your day-to-day job or go to the office or be an actor, actress, singer, whatever, or yourself, right? But, should I use the word unfortunately? I walked into an industry at the time where a lot of women were really not speaking for women. So, the things I faced that were challenges, I had to learn on the job. And it didn't make any sense to me.
you go to spaces where you know you have the capacity to do way more, but they try and sort of box you and silence you, and you go ahead silenced, right? So something happened, and this is why. I met a lady, Ibuko, and there was something she said. She said, have you ever wondered why when we're bringing up our children, female, the ladies, we teach them how to be calm. You're supposed, elegance to us is quiet your voice. That's how we see it. So she's like, you're doing too much. She's a little girl, you see, she's outspoken. They say, hey, are you the only one here? Didn't you see this one? Didn't you see? Then you bring them to the office and you now want them to take space. How? You've already created the habit of them being, they cower, they slouch, you're not taking up space. So I started thinking back, and this was maybe about 10 years after I had started music, and I started thinking back and I said, I didn't want to be that person anymore. And if you want to change something, you have to be that thing. So I started intentionally being it. So I remember the Chibok girls, there was a match, and we were told where to go. By the time I got there, nobody was there. I walked from there to Government House. It was silly at the time, maybe, but I was teaching myself something. Because when you eventually come into your own, you teach other women to come into their own. And then you're not struggling alone. Because if you're struggling alone in a space where you're the only one doing something, it's more difficult. But by the time you have done enough and you see that other people are doing their own part, other women are doing their own part, you come and you create your own table. Everybody says, oh, you're not welcome to the table. What value do you bring? Create your table. Create your own. Don't join any table. Create your own. Then the women who are doing theirs, we carry their own chair and come and meet you. So that's why I do what I do.
What role do you believe? Because Ella, the reason why we know you is social media. I mean, you did a brave thing, but the reason why or how we know you is through social media. So what role do you believe that the media or media can play or storytelling play in amplifying women's voices? Because like you said, there were other people at that bus stop. There were men, the big tough men that are supposed to be the men. But it's little small you, as they say. But Ella, you're not small. As the Gen Z say, not the little Ella, not the little one, not the little E, the big E. What role do you think the media and storytelling can play or plays in amplifying women's voices?
Okay, so I feel like people believe in, the process. So it's because of, I didn't just come overnight and just brought up a story saying this happened to me. It started from little by little. I kept showing those processes. I kept showing this is what is happening in Nigeria. This is what's happening in Lagos. So people kept seeing those things. And I felt, okay, a little support. Though by then it was not that big. I saw those little supports from social media. And that is what kept motivating me not to stop. Even though the people, the Nigerians out there, physically, the passengers never supported me. They always looked at me, who is this girl? Even though I'm fighting for the same bus we would use, so they kept looking at me somehow. But then I knew that, okay, some people, social media had the power to they had my back, social media. So that is why I kept going. And then when that harassment happened, people kept, some people they are always negative people and positive people. So those positive people, I saw the light in positivity. Though negativity was there, people will still make comments. It's normal. So social media has the power.
How about you?
So the way we consume content has changed not in a few years, greatly in the last 20 years, right? I remember as a kid, when we come back from school, TV starts at 4 p.m. and then network news is at 9.
7 and 9.
Yeah, 7 and 9. So now, you know, we spend most of our time and most of the information you're getting is on social media, right? So even the news houses and all that, they all have like social media accounts. Even newspaper outlets, they all have their social media accounts. So it plays a very big role because 70% of your time you're scrolling. So if you notice, like, there was a conversation I heard, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, about how, I think it was yesterday, we were at the same event, how young men are consuming Andrew Tate and all those podcasts and stuff like that. Oh, actually it was today, it was Ebuka that said that, yes. So, where is Andrew Tate? He's still on social media. So, bad things happen when good men keep quiet. Yes. So we have social media, so our content, we have a lot of people there.
But bad things also happen when women keep quiet.
Absolutely.
Because I believe that we have the power of multiplication and we have informal networks. Before there was BlackBerry and if you want this to move, yes, you know the friend to tell.
Yes.
That before the day is over, everybody in school has heard it.
Absolutely.
So we already had the power of networking and information, you know, movement amongst us.
Yes, but I don't think it was as much as, because even data will show you that we have more people online than we did in 2015.
Absolutely, 100%. But I think what I'm asking about or speaking to is women's voices.
Yes.
Because historically, we've had women like, for example, Maya Angelou, Rosa Parks, who literally, if you Google who are the bravest women in the world, I think Rosa Parks' name comes up as number 2. You have women like Chimamanda Adichie today. You have women like Latasha Ngube.
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. Who have made a decision and a choice to use their voices. So I think my question to you is, what can happen or what needs to happen for more of us women to begin to use our voices as tools for change, as tools to make a difference?
I hear you. And I'll be very honest, I don't think there's a step 1, step 2, step 3 to this answer. I think that you guys are showing women how to take up space. And in that, you're showing more women that it's okay to be audacious and speak boldly. And it's that simple, right? You talked about Maya, you talked about yourself, right? And like I said in the first question, women are taught to be quiet. I'm speaking from my own experience. When I see posts of women who are of like minds, I'm charged to even speak. Cameras, please, excuse this one.
You're 24? 24, wow. How amazing to have the world at your feet. And just like, I mean, I still have years, honey, okay? Honey, I have years. But you're 24. The world is your little oyster. Have you had your own friends or you people younger than you tell you, Ella, what you did inspired me? And do you have any plans to move forward, doing more things that allow you to use your voice, to be able to even mentor your own peers and younger?
Okay, so when I started using my voice, it was just because of my struggles. But then I saw the impact it made. Like, they provided buses. Even when it happened, I did not even believe that my voice could be heard. And I was really impressed. And people came to meet me and told me they were inspired by what happened. And when I was like, seriously, like, I didn't even believe that such things happened. So, right now, I will keep talking, yes, but then at the same time, since I started with the struggle of mine, I will keep going with the way of, like, if I see any struggle happening close to me, I will keep voicing out, and I will keep doing other things too. So that's basically it.
A lady came out to say that she was being owed money. And then later she came back to recant the story. And you know, when she came out, we were like, okay, this lady is speaking up against a system. She's speaking up against oppression or seeming oppression. But then it looked like there was a turnaround, right? And it felt like, to a lot of us, suppression. It felt like oppression. It felt like somebody somewhere had made some moves and things like that. I can see a lot of you in the audience nodding. But I think I want to throw this question out to anyone who may even have something to say. Have you found yourself in such a situation where you are forced to backtrack or else? I'm leaving the or else unknown because or else. Has that happened to anyone in the room before?
We slept in the police station that night, begging them not to take her by road to Ebonyi. We had to buy tickets for everybody that came from the same person. She was harassed, tortured mentally, and forced to retract her statement. A statement that was backed by law. So when I saw that woman's story and I saw lots of people complaining about it, I said, see, if I'm not experienced, my mom was in hiding for 6 months. She has a medical facility in Abuja. She had to leave her business through the work of your hands. Because truly, if a woman is empowered and has work to do, what will carry you to certain places to go and be looking for money there? Chasing contracts for people that will not pay you. That's the truth. If you're empowered, if you have a business that is running well, because this government work is not easy. And I'm just speaking from experience. So yeah, sometimes it gets tough and you can't do anything, but I'm always grateful to see people like Ella.
Because we were neutrals, we're Nigerians. It was the final for Senegal versus Morocco, right? But the progression of events, I was seeing my fellow journalists, the Moroccan ones, they were spitting at the ones that were black. They were throwing blows. So I've covered sports in 4 continents so far. And God willing, I'll cover more. Amen. And I've never experienced as a black woman or a black person, somebody that we are colleagues will feel empowered to spit on you. You know, we are Nigerians. Racism is not our thing, tribalism. So spit because you are angry that somebody is playing football, winner or loser, everybody move. And then you are throwing blues. So it was weird to me. And then when we came into the presser, I saw the daughter of the coach coming with her father. He was a young man, so he's a young man, happy. And as a young girl, that's the thing you want to see. Your father as a winner of something that is worthy. And then I still saw, and it was crazy because it was young people, young journalists. It was not old men, it was young folks like us that were trying to go at the man in front of where his daughter was. Now I'm a mother. And they not born you well to try that thing where my pikin did with me. And I was looking around, nobody was saying anything. It was like it was normal. That's why, Ella, congratulations. You are a proper Nigerian woman. Because the real Nigerian woman, I don't know about the others, but a proper Nigerian woman cannot see injustice and throw away face. Because that's the litmus test. And funny enough, since that thing happened, yes, I had the threats. I didn't even know. I just blasted. And when I blasted at them, I put it on phone and I put it in my pocket and I was like, when I leave this country, that's when I will go. But when we left, it was not safe. We had to wait back. I had to stay with other Nigerian journalists in Rabat, the headquarters. And before I came back, I was in Europe. That's when I was seeing my phone blowing up. So you are the one. And I was already getting, don't come back to this place. I'm supposed to go back for the WAFCON. WAFCON was supposed to start today, yesterday. Now they wrote the thing and they scattered it again. But I will tell you, when you get to a certain level, there's this thing about you. It's either you stand up for something or you are just there. And you, Ella, you understand this, and I'm sure a lot of ladies here, it just can't sit in. That's why I love that, Natasha, you are doing this. I'm loving that people like Waje, they are here and they are throwing voices, because I think you don't plan to be a crusader. The crusade will come meet you. And when it meets you, it's that you stand up. And I can say this for the government, as much as we say government, not we try. Government paid back my flight ticket, so thank you, government of Nigeria. They said they're very proud of me. So Nigerian government, thank you for paying my flight ticket. And then they still gave me one small salama to be like, hey, we know that you have to use corner to come back. So take this one to support yourself because you made us proud. So even if you say the country is not too nice, you saw small sign when they brought the bus. The bus has gone now, it's Nigeria. But let's keep moving. Let's keep pushing the envelope. Thank you.
Nice stuff. I love you.
This is Nigeria. We lack cooperation so much. Like, I just want us to always cooperate with one another. I saw one video one time. There was this lady that was saved, and then a lot of women passed her. Like, nobody did anything. I was so touched. Why? Like, because, and someone made a comment, they were like, the person said, now woman, they do woman. Like, why? Please, let's always cooperate and let's love one another. I know Nigeria is Nigeria, but let's have cooperation and let's always voice out, no matter what.
For me, one of the things that I have learned for myself is the ability to say no. It's okay to say no, women. Don't let people take advantage of the value that you bring. You understand? So it's okay, say no. Community is very important, your tribe. And don't just take, don't take and you're not giving. There are people I know here that they're a full example of what it means to be selfless. Tasha is absolutely selfless. So it's a no-brainer when she asks people to show up and they show up. Same thing with Latasha. Like my tribe and the friendship me. Yeah. Sister. Yes. So that community is very important, not just for you but for them as well. So thank you.
Thank you. There's someone here that I would also like to, and I just want to be there. I grew up with her in Surulere. They lived on Adelabu Street, she and her sister and her mom, of blessed memory, wonderful woman. I just want to say, I love you, I appreciate you, you are amazing, and God bless you. Thank you. Omo, I went to primary school with her. She has not changed one bit. I don't understand it, honestly. Delphine, hi darling, makeup artist extraordinaire, amazing woman, congratulations. Buki, I love you. Trish O, this is the Trish O brand. She's a fashion designer. Happy Women's Month to you. Yeah. My girl, Flaky, come on girl, stand up. This is my birthday mate. We met when we were 20 years old. In 2 days I asked her, what's your birthday? She said 8th of May. I said no wonder, but just the same. She has a fashion business now. What? 1108, that's correct. And they do amazing things. I love you. She's amazing. You are amazing. You are an amazing support system. If Laura is not picking the phone, call Femi. It will be delivered. I love you guys. You're silver sisters. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Catch me if you can. Fashion girls. When you say person don't get wahala, Juliet don't get problem. Calm, sweet, loving, kind, supportive. I appreciate you, girl, and I love you big. Let me go back to my ladies on stage. Waje, I didn't forget you. Ella, can we come together and close out House of Accessories? That's Barbara and her mom and her family. She comes from a family of strong entrepreneurs, strong women. Her sister just won a BAFTA. If it is easy, run out. Thank you, Barbara, for everything you do and for my beautiful angels. You are amazing. today and just enjoy your life, ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night. Good night. But stay and enjoy. To drink Glenlivet. Can my guests now have cocktails? Can we have alcohol flow? Thank you to everyone who was a part of this. Thank you to my team, my he for she's, Otumba.
Show me